Welcome back to the channel, guys. And in today's video, I got good news and I got really bad news. All right, guys, so welcome back. So I started putting together some of this stuff off camera. I mean, this is no big deal. I just put the rear calipers with the new brake pads. These are Carbotech XP12s, I believe. XP12s, yeah. And then the new Goodrich braided line. So all that kind of, you guys had already seen this. So I did both sides. And then I went ahead and I reassembled the ACD pump. So like I told you guys, like I showed you guys before, so this had a little bit of corrosion here on the front. And it still has some of it still there. So, but I tried to sand this down a little bit, okay? And I did like the front of this. I didn't want to like overpaint over that sticker. There was a sticker here that I did take out. So anyways, I just kind of did the best I could. And I used the epoxy spray paint, okay, that I got just from the auto parts store. And then obviously these are the brackets that I had gotten powder coated. So that is looking much, much nicer. You guys had already seen this. So we're gonna go ahead and start assembling this. But the good news is that I heard from TRE, and the bad news is that I also heard back from TRE. So long story short, the transmission is a disaster. You know it's bad when on your quote, they say, holy shit, this transmission has a shit ton of problems. So, you know, as soon as you read that, it's just bleeding money at that point. So I just want to read you guys a little bit of what it says here. This transmission is going to need a lot of parts. Whatever oil was in this thing did not do the gears justice. And first through fourth gears are scuffing badly. So you Google for gear scuffing. And the reason why he's saying that is because when he told me that the T-case was cracked, or the ring and pinion were cracked, I asked him for pictures. Never got those. So then when he told me about this, I also asked him for pictures, but I still haven't gotten those yet. I'm not saying that the guy's shady. I know that they're busy. But I really wanted to kind of show you guys, you know, what they're talking about. I'm still hoping that he'll come through and he'll send them to me. He did say he was going to send them to me. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Maybe in the next video, we'll see if he actually comes through and sends them to me. So, but basically what does that mean? It means that the transmission needs all new first through fourth gears and all the parts associated with that. So think synchros, sliders, forks, all that crap, all that is listed here. Input shed has hella wear, great. So we need shaft, snap ring, bearings, gears, synchros, springs, hubs, sleeves, synchros, gears, on and on and on and on. And then these are just like the services that, no, actually these are not the services yet. That's still more parts, magnets, covers, rolling pins, washers, spacers, on and on and on. And then these are the services, you know, the glass beading, that's how the transmissions come out looking really nice. The gear detailing, definitely want that done. Whatever. So, very, very expensive transmission build. All right, guys, so with that bad news, you know, I'm gonna be real with you guys. What's funding this build up to this point was the funds that I got from the gray car that got totaled, okay? If you guys go back to that video where I explained what happened when the car got totaled, you would see that, you know, I had collector's insurance on that car, okay? So I had covered it for, you know, a decent amount of money, enough that it would cover the car plus modifications and things like that. But, you know, enough that it would cover, these cars are becoming more and more valuable as time goes by because they're, you know, they're just getting more and more trashed and totaled and whatever. So up to this point, I've been funding all this build, all the parts that you guys have seen, everything that I've done with this car with those funds. So unfortunately, because of that, some of the things that I had planned for the car are basically gonna have to go on standby. I'm not really sure, you know, for how long or whatever. I think we all know how this game is. You know, you gotta pay to play. And you know that if you buy an abandoned Evo, you know, that was previously built, who knows, you know? So that was always in the back of my head. Obviously, once I drove it and stuff like that, you know, to me, it didn't feel like there was anything wrong with the T-case and there wasn't anything wrong with the transmission. So it's just a complete shock to get two crazy bills, you know, that I just wasn't expecting, you know. So, but it is what it is, you know. Again, the positive of this is going to be that I'm going to end up with a badass transmission and a badass T case. All right, so enough of the whining and the crying. So one of the things that I wanted to do with the car that I hadn't touched on is I wanted to take the rear differential out, okay? I'm not sure what's done to the differential, if anything, but I wanted to take that out and send that to the guys at TRE to get, you know, rebuild, put all the additional plates and all that stuff. They do a really, really badass service. But unfortunately, with this situation and the TK situation, I just don't have the funds for that. So I think I'm gonna do the next best thing, which is I'm gonna pull that out and restack the clutch plates, which, you know, if you guys look it up, there's a bunch of videos about it. So I think that's gonna be the next big thing. Since I don't have the money to build it at this point, I'm just gonna pull it out, restack it, and then while I'm in there, you know, maybe I'll throw some bushings at it. Okay, this was a lot harder to take out than I expected. Obviously all nice and crusty, so all original. I think I'm gonna keep these brackets. I don't have the budget to get the nice billet ones. So I think I'm just gonna replace these bushings, okay? And I've never really done this, taking one of these apart, so hopefully I don't regret that. But anyways, I got this mustache bar out. I think I'm going to also just replace these bushings. And then on both of these, on this one and on the side mounts, I'm probably just going to do like an epoxy coating. Pretty nerve-wracking, but I've never done anything like this. So, but anyways, this is what we're looking at here, guys. So if you notice, you have a smooth plate and then a serrated plate, smooth plate, and serrated plate. So this makes it so that the plates, these are like clutch plates, they can't grab as hard as they would from the original factories in Japan or in other markets outside of the US. This came arranged correctly from the factory, but for some reason for the US, maybe so that the car wouldn't oversteer as much, they made crazy thunderstorm, typical Florida. So anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have, instead of clutch, plate, clutch like that, we're gonna have clutch, plate, clutch, plate, clutch, plate. All right, so now, as you can see, we got the ones with the ears, I'm calling the clutch, and then the one with the smooth inside is the plate. So clutch, plate, clutch, and this guy is the top plate or bottom plate, so plate. So clutch plate, and the same thing at the bottom. And then you get the rear differential as it meant to be from the factory. Okay, so I got it all assembled, okay, nice and dried. I got everything nice and torqued and everything, so that's ready to get put back in. In the meantime, I also went ahead and I pressed these bushings out, okay, out of the mustache bar, stock mustache bar, and the side mounts, okay. And I went ahead and I also painted this with that the same epoxy paint that I painted some parts on the last video. So hopefully we'll see how long this stuff lasts. Okay, so now, since you guys have been seeing this, maybe you can start guessing what's inside that box. All right, I think this is dead obvious of what all this is gonna be, but let's check it out. More white line stuff. Oh, buddy, this is big and heavy. There we go. Here's one big piece. And some smaller stuff. All right, so this is the rear sway bar kit with the heavy duty mounts and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what's swirling in here. All right. And then we have mustache bar replacement bushings, and then the side mount replacement bushings as well. All right, well, unfortunately, this GoPro decided to die on me again. I think I was in the middle of finishing this up. So anyways, it is what it is. These stupid GoPros, man, the batteries and the life suck. It actually said that it overheated, so I think I'm gonna start filming in, I've been filming in 60 frames, so I think I'm gonna bring it down to 30 frames and see if that helps. So, sorry I couldn't get all this done, all this in camera, but anyways, it's all pretty simple, all right? So this is obviously all put back together. Once I got all these in, these were a lot simpler. I think the hardest part really of this whole thing was the mustache bar. The mustache bar definitely was a big pain in the neck to push those out and push them back in and get this all lined up and everything. So anyways, here's the new sway bar setup. So this is the heavy duty mount from White Line. Okay, it comes with this bracket here. It replaces the factory has a bracket there, but it's not as heavy duty. This is definitely way thicker. So I think that helps with the sway bar not being able to kind of flex, okay, or those mounts flexing. Some more direct action on the sway bar. And this is the 26 mil, which I believe is the biggest one they have. And the reason why I went with this 26 mil because, well, since I'm not going to be able to do the rear diff anytime soon, I figured put, you know, a bigger bar. So I think hopefully, my hope is that with the combination of the restacked OEM plates and a bigger bar, it's going to balance out everything that I've done in the front. So everything back here is looking a little dirty, but, you know, overall, pretty clean for a 16-year-old car. So I think at some point I'm going to pressure wash all this stuff like I did in the front. But for now, I think that's going to do it. All right, guys. So again, I got a huge mess to clean up over here. But to end the video on a good note, I did get an email notification, a shipment notification from TRE. It's only one and it's 80 pounds. So I'm assuming that is the transfer case because I think the transmission weighs more than 80 pounds. So hopefully in the next video, I'll be able to get the transmission and the transfer case back in, get the subframe back in, start putting this whole thing back together. And we're also gonna have wheel reveals and then get this thing back on the actual road. I'm super excited. I can't wait. So we'll see if we can fit all that into the next video. If not, it'll be another, you know, another 2 videos. But anyways, guys, until the next one, peace.